Good afternoon to everyone. We are here with Mr. Gordon. We have come to his beautiful setting in the beautiful mountains of Southern California. And I want to go ahead and introduce you guys to Gordon. Gordon, say hi.
Hello, everybody.
Howdy, everybody. And I wanted Gordon to first of all give you a little explanation of what his passions were, introduce himself, and then we're going to go ahead and show what his passion is all about. Gordon, start us off with how you got into this, how long you've been into this, at what age did you get interested in, of course, those guys first, and then we will go ahead and get to the other things that we're hearing in the background that I'm not showing yet. Go right ahead, it's all yours, Gordon.
Yeah, well, my first passion is falconry, and I have pigeons, and the pigeons are to support my falconry endeavors, and the pigeons are also quite a bit of fun. I take them out and road train them. They're all homing pigeons. I did have Iranian high flyers for a while, but I switched to homers because they're the best pigeon to have to train these falcons.
How long have you been into falconry?
I started back in 1970.
1970.
Yeah.
We are talking 41 and change years.
Yes, it's been a while.
You have. You only look like 20 to me, Gordon. Hey.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's a good trick right there. I just want you to know that this is, of course, you all know this is called the regal sports throughout the world. And it started with royalties going back thousands of years, be it in Middle East, of course, Egypt, and now in the the Saudi Arabian peninsula and such. You still have royalty does the sport.
It's very big over there.
So that makes you royalty amongst us, my friend.
Well, thank you.
So sure enough, as you guys see, there is nothing more beautiful than them. Now, do me a favor, Gordon.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and go down the line. And let's explain. Please explain to us the breed, the bloodline, if you want to say. What are these birds one by one? Let's start with
this first bird here. This is a female Brickyeye peregrine from Spain. She's imported from Spain.
She is imported. That's an imported bird.
Yeah, she's imported from Spain, and she comes from the only fella in the U.S. that actually breeds these birds. He has a pair of them up in Walnut Creek.
Walnut Creek, California, which is north of here, if I'm not mistaken.
And she is 3 years old.
That is a 3-year-old female. Now, explain to us.
She's a little camera shy, as you can see.
Yeah, exactly. Are they hand reared, or would you say
they're raised in a chamber with the parent birds until they're about 65 days old, out of sight of people. And it's very important that they don't see people during this time, because as these birds are being raised by the parents, if there's any kind of a threat that flies over the chamber, because the chambers are open at the top and the sides are closed. They can't see out the side, but they can see out the top. So if something flies over, let's say a red-tailed hawk, the parents will do the alarm cry, which tells the youngsters that there's danger. So if we're going in these chambers all the time, upsetting the parent birds will tell these young birds that we are also danger, and we're the enemy. So these birds are raised out of sight of humans, totally for their first 65 days.
Very
then,
interesting.
as we pull the birds out of the chambers, we put on a black cape, so we're not a human form. We go in there in the dark, and we'll take them out one at a time. And that's when we put hoods on them, jests on them, and start their training. They have no idea that, we're the bad guy.
What is the purpose of the bell on their feet?
Well,
what does that signify?
Bells have been in falconry for thousands of years.
For generations.
Because when these falcons come down with their quarry in the grass or in the hedgerows, you can't find them. And you can't hear them unless they have bells on. So when they're down over the hill there, but now we have what's called telemetry, which a lot of guys don't fly with bells anymore. They just use telemetry, but I still use bells, because it also tells me when the birds are out, whether in the yard like they are now, if there's a problem.
Unbelievable.
If on a perch, I'll hear the bells going crazy. I'll know.
Very interesting. You get to see them. You get to.
And take care of them.
So imported from Spain.
This one is imported from Spain,
Right,
three
she's a-
and a half years old.
Yeah, she's a Spanish bird.
Spanish. Now, what about that little shy one all the way over there?
Over on the end there, that's Penny. She's an autumn peregrine falcon from California, and
By that you mean that's a purebred peregrine?
that is a purebred autumn peregrine from
An autumn
California.
peregrine.
She's a female. She was bred in a breeding project 12 years ago.
Wow.
Wow, she's 12 years old.
She's 12 years old. And,
What is their lifespan?
a friend of mine had one that passed away at 37 years old this last year. It died of cancer and cataracts and just all kinds of things. But in the wild, they last about 15, 20 years.
15 to 20 years. And as you see, I believe that was Lucy, correct? Lucy was just talking to us.
That's
Oh, Ro-
Penny over
oh, that's
there.
Penny.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Penny was talking to us a second
Oh,
ago.
yeah. Yeah.
She's a talker, you know, like most females. Of course, we're not
Oh,
going to
yeah,
go ahead
she's
and
a
discuss
vocal
that.
little
We
creature.
will not discuss that subject at this juncture. And as we see, we have another shy one
Okay,
who's a
that's
little camera shy too.
right. That's Sparky. He's a
That's Sparky.
he's
Male.
a high. Yes, he's a male and he's a hybrid, and he's actually 4 birds in one.
Whoa! Please explain to us in detail how can we get 4 birds of prey into
There
one?
was the male was 3/4 Peel's peregrine and 1/4 red-naped Shaheen
Shaheen, that's
Shaheen.
from Persia, yeah.
from Persia, correct. And it was bred into a female gerfalcon that was 3/4 gerfalcon and 1/4 sacred falcon. So you do the math.
For all of you guys,
Yeah.
make sure you Google the Falcon, the Shaheen, and of course the other one that I can't even pronounce, and you'll end up with this.
Yes, you will.
Then we have an unbelievable
This is
specimen.
a female.
This
that-
right here is a female.
That is a female right here.
Right, she weighs 42 ounces,
42 ounces.
and her name is Lucy.
That is Lucy.
Hey, Lucy. Hey, girl. And she is a hybrid. She's a cross between a gerfalcon
What a shot.
and a peregrine falcon. The gerfalcon from the Arctic and a peregrine falcon.
Wow.
That is awesome.
Unbelievable. So please explain to us a little bit about their training, their purpose. What do you get out of them? How did you get into falconry? For what reason? What do you do with them?
I started falconry when I was a kid. I was 16 years old.
Now, do you need a permit for this?
Oh,
Do you need?
yes, you do. It's highly regulated. I'm licensed by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and the state of California.
And the state of California to possess
Right, and if
these
you
birds.
noticed, all these falcons have on their leg a permanent seamless band. It's right up here. See that? And
Oh,
they're
yes.
registered with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service.
So they are registered with the U.S. Fish and Game, and
Fish and
they.
Wildlife Service and the Department
Do
of Fish and
you,
Game.
by regulation, do you mean they come and pay you a visit on?
They can inspect
permanent
me
basis?
anytime they want, and they haven't, but they could if they want.
But they could if they want to,
Oh, sure,
and
that's fine.
they're just again, when it comes to falconry per se, you're training them for hunts, or you. So basically, you hunt with them
Falconry is hunting wild game with a trained bird of prey.
with a bird,
That
trained
is
bird.
the definition of falconry.
How do you do it? What entails when we say hunting with a bird of prey? What do you do, for example, with Lucy?
Well, we don't have to teach these birds how to hunt. They already have an instinct to hunt. All we do is we train them to hunt in our presence and allow us to be part of it.
So
if,
you
if
take.
this is a wild bird, we cannot come up with a camera, and I cannot reach over and touch her. She would be going crazy. But through manning and through conditioning, she knows us as being, her food source and her providers, and she's fine with that. And
I want everyone to pay particular attention to the claws. That is what is
Yeah.
done.
the claws.
There you go.
yes.
Let's
The
talk about
right
claws.
there. Yeah,
There's the claw right there.
there's the claw.
That's just a little love mark, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I get them all.
That's just a love pat.
Yeah.
I get them.
Well, we call those love muscles.
Yeah, you can notice that just because he's flying the homers, look at how he's keep tracking of him. You know, he's
That's right.
Oh,
And of
minute
course, we
ago
have
he
Max
was-
here, the president of the Iranian Pigeon Club, at your present, who's present here, and we are doing the expose here. Again, when it comes to falconry, of course, pigeons and falcons go hand in hand. We are in a perpetual tug of war between these birds and, of course, our passion. But what we need to realize, what we need to understand, is this is nature, and we are nothing but a vessel when it comes to them. And sure enough, this is what we got. Of course, I don't know if I can go ahead and get them in the sun, but as you can see,
look at that.
we have the
Look at
birds
him,
as
look at him,
such.
He's puffing up,
Yeah,
Of
it's
course.
Rousing.
lousy.
Rousing.
Rousing. And of
Yeah, like
course,
your pigeon
as we get it
rouse.
close and we get the actual physical, unbelievable shots that are worth a million. How
Lucy. Who is that? Who is that? Good girl.
good girl, Lucy.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So basically, you take these guys out in the middle of, let's say, a prairie.
Right at Prairie, there'll be a pothole pond out there with ducks, and I also have a bird dog, and I'll put the falcon up, and the falcon is trained to go up and wait on anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 feet as we go in to flush the ducks, and then as the ducks flush, the falcon stoops and hopefully get the duck. Doesn't
So,
always work out that way, but that's the plan.
do you have to train them to go after ducks, or do they?
No.
So everything that is in the air, they will basically target.
Most things, yes.
Most
These
things.
peregrine falcons were called duck hawks for years because they hung out in duck marshes and they ate ducks.
Peregrines bring down ducks.
Yes, they did.
That little thing brings down ducks. How much do they weigh? How much does a
This
peregrine
little
weigh?
thing over here brings down ducks. Pheasants.
Pheasants. Pheasants with that size.
Yes, with that size.
Unbelievable.
If I
Unbelievable.
reach
She's
my
up.
hands to her,
She
is
will
that gonna-
freak.
She would
Oh,
attack.
yeah.
Or-
I am very surprised that she's allowing us to sit this close to her
Oh, okay.
because she's quite unusual. Is she only tolerates me? She tolerates no one else.
I see.
If I'm out there in the field and she makes the kill and I'm feeding her up in the glove after the kill, and there's anybody within 100 yards of us, she will not eat. She stares at them. They're the enemy.
Yeah, that's true. I noticed that.
Yeah.
I noticed that. They're
Yeah.
very, very alert about.
Unbelievable.
And besides falconry, she is also used for bird abatement at landfills to chase seagulls out of landfills. And Lucy is also.
Bird abatement in landfills.
Right.
I want you guys to look and pay particular attention to the posts that Gordon has made for the birds. It's an absolute work of art, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Everything to
Very
keep the
simple.
birds very simple, but at the same time, unbelievable. Unbelievable. How comfort of the bird is of utmost importance. The birds absolutely feel at home, even though, how should I say, they are inherently wild birds. They are wild animals, but yet they tolerate us. They tolerate us. They are absolutely at ease with us, and it is evident what Gordon has been able to accomplish
Yeah,
when it
it's
comes
hard
to
when
them.
I tell people that yes, we can train hawks and stuff. They said hawks is a wild.
Hawks are
Bird.
wild birds.
Oh,
So-
falconry's been around for 4,000 years.
I know. Look at. I mean.
We've been training
Yeah.
hawks and
That's
falcons.
beautiful. These birds are not clipped. They are in absolute perfect pure form, and they are showing off as we see.
You can
And all
ima-
these birds are flown free on a regular basis.
Flown free. One of these days, hopefully, Gordon is going to go ahead and let us know
I'll
when
take
he's
you out and we'll go out to the desert to the training field and we'll put the falcons up.
Max.
Yeah.
Wow.
Make sure we go ahead and make a
Well, definitely. That's
We'll go ahead and make another addition or continuation to this.
But I bet you even if
To
you
this
post it,
post of ours.
people are going to be very, very interested to see what comes up.
Of
And that's
course,
going to be a full blown.
it is going to be an absolute.
What
You
we
will
could
have
say, you know,
you.
it's a hobby, but
This is not a
protecting
hobby.
the hawks.
This is a passion. This is
Passion.
not a hobby. This is a passion. Let's go ahead and
Let's move back a little bit.
move back before we disturb them.
For a little
And
space.
we're going to go ahead and cut this off at this point and pick it up in a short while. Again,
Well, why don't you introduce her?
We are gonna shut it off for now.